Okay, so let's see if we can graph this one. And we're going to try to find a bunch of stuff. We're going to try to find the horizontal asymptote, vertical asymptote, x-intercept, y-intercept, domain, and range. And it's an exponential. We've graphed a few exponentials. We know the base graph kind of looks like that. And by kind of, I mean looks like that. So my base graph basically looks like that. So we know my domain of this already. It goes all the way to the left, goes all the way to the right. Don't know the range because we're going to have to shift it to see. But domain we got. We also know it has no vertical asymptote. Exponentials don't have a vertical asymptote, so there's not one here. The rest we're going to have to find out. So again, I'm going to write this some way that looks a little bit more familiar. So I'm going to put the negative 1/2 x minus 3 plus 2 there. And I haven't really done fractions, but I don't need to write it as a fraction, right? I know how to write that as a whole number. So negative 2, and when I do that, that just makes it a negative. Flipping it over a fraction bar, you can do that by making your exponent negative. Negative exponent just flips over the fraction bar. So I'm going to negative exponent. I'm going to make sure I distribute it. So negative x plus 3 plus 2. Okay, so now I'm pretty ready to graph it. So I'm going to go ahead and see what happens. This negative in front, flip over x. I'm going to do that first. So if I flip it over x, I'm again going to have this upside down graph. Okay. My plus 3 moves it left. Wrong way. Left is that way. 3. My plus 2 moves it up 2. Okay, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to move it left 3. Again, my horizontal asymptote moving left isn't going to change much. But moving that horizontal asymptote up 2 will change. It'll move up 2. Okay, I'm going to move this point though, this negative 1 point, left 3 and up 2. So it's going to be left 3 coming over here and then going up to 0, up to 1. Okay, so now if I draw the graph in from that, I get something like this. Okay, so my last thing to do now, I have a negative here. That means flip over y. So I'm going to do that last. So if I flip this, this is my y-axis. If I flip it over my y-axis, this point's not here anymore. It flipped over to the other side. So let's draw it. So again, I got my horizontal asymptote at 2. It's really bad at 2, but close enough. So this point was at negative 3 over here. When I flip it over the y, it's going to be a positive 3. Still at 1. When I flip this arrow over the y, it's going to be pointing the other way. When I flip this over the y, it's again going to be pretty close to the y-axis. So going down and close to the y-axis. So I should get something like that. Okay? So looking at this, I should be able to get my range now. My range is going all the way down, so go negative infinity, all the way up to 2. Doesn't ever hit 2, because 2, positive 2, is where I have a horizontal asymptote. Okay, let's find my x-intercept and my y-intercept. So I'm going to sub in zeros. So y equals 2 minus 1/2 to the 0 minus 3. So I'm going to get y equals 2 minus 1/2 to the negative 3. Again, negative just flips over a fraction bar. So 2 minus 2 cubed. So 2 minus 8. So I'm going to get negative 6. So my y-intercept should be 0, negative 6. Which, yeah, probably down here somewhere. That looks about right. Okay, let's try to find my other one. So 0 equals 2 minus 1/2 to the x minus 3. I'm going to move my exponential over. So 1/2 to the x minus 3 equals 2. Write this with common base. So 2 to the negative x plus 3 equals 2 to the 1. Because again, negative flips over the fraction bar. Got the exact same base now. So that part's already the same. Just need to make my exponents equal. and solve from there. So subtract 3 and divide by negative. So negative x equals negative 2, x equals 2. Which, yeah, kind of looks like it goes through there. So I think I did pretty good with my graphing that time. And that was pretty hard, but that's also about as hard as it can kind of get.